You're listening to Leadership's Insights, Navigating Career and Life. I am Maggie Rombach, your host, bringing inspiring stories and practical advice on leadership, career development, and work-life balance.
Hello and welcome to Leadership's Insights, brought to you by Maggie's Mindset Mastery Academy. Today, this will be a little bit different because today the podcast is featuring me. You might be wondering why that is. So first, as usual, I'm testing, exploring, and this is a new format I'll be testing out to come on live directly talking to you about topics, hot topics of the day. And today we'll start with a topic that is really close to my heart because I know many of you are out there looking for jobs. The job market is really difficult these days. If you're based in Geneva, you might be impacted by the budget cuts. You might be looking, and there are many other people looking at the same time. So in that context, we might be all be more vulnerable for opportunities that seem very promising and actually they are not. And the particular topic I want to zoom in on is LinkedIn and schemes that are happening on LinkedIn. So you might have heard of all sorts of scams going on, and typically they target elderly people. They might involve phone calls, requests for money. You might have received the one or the other odd email of your distant cousin based in some weird country or the other side of the world asking you for money needed immediately or large amounts of money that you could win by doing ABC. So all of these are quite obvious, you would think. So even those, they're so professionals, they might get you in surprising ways when you least expect that. For these, I guess for these, you have all the trainings that hopefully your organizations are providing in terms of data protection and things to watch out for on the internet, including checking email addresses, not clicking on links. So all of this. So we won't cover this today. Today, I'd like to zoom in on LinkedIn because given the job search topic, I think that's where many of us are these days present, looking for jobs, connecting with people. And if you're like me, you might have felt that LinkedIn is kind of a safe private space where you can trust people. You know, you log in, you connect with your friends. It's kind of protected from all the other stuff that's going on out there. So here, first of all, rethink. LinkedIn now has over 1 billion people on the platform, and there are all sorts of scams and spam going on LinkedIn as well. So first of all, I invite you to be just as vigilant on LinkedIn as you'd be anywhere else. And then I'd like to share with you 4 recent examples I've come across myself and a couple of very straightforward tips how you can avoid or be vigilant when interacting on LinkedIn. So let me tell you more about the examples that I've come across. And, I actually checked them back with my coach, asking if she thinks they're scam or spam. And you know what? Actually, that's not even the question. I think the question you should filter any opportunities on LinkedIn after applying the standard data protection rules, the ones I mentioned before, not clicking on links that look suspicious and the likes. I think the bigger question is this opportunity relevant to what I'm trying to achieve? Am I connecting with the right people? Could I talk to the right audience? Could I connect with somebody who might be offering me the job I'm looking for? Because some of those opportunities might be actually rather spam, so offers you don't really need, but really valid business models behind it. And some others might be bluntly put simply scam, something really dodgy. But in the end, it really matters either way. Is that really relevant for me? So personally, I apply a principle that I call be open yet skeptical. And I'm a really curious person. So I probably sometimes go one step further than other people, exploring and finding out about opportunities, but then really switch on your vigilant you and and dig deeper and see what's going on. So here we go. Here comes my 4 examples. And if you're out there and if you come across some examples, do share with me, do share on LinkedIn. I think everyone needs to be aware and watch out for those to avoid falling into any traps. So the first one is actually a friend of mine being approached by a headhunter. And the headhunter asked for money to do the headhunting. So this is not how headhunting works. Headhunting works that the company who hired the headhunter is paying the headhunter to find you and offer you the job. So any well-qualified, any real headhunters will never ask you to pay. They will earn their fees if you're the right person for the job. If you're taken for the job, they will get a percentage of your salary. So never, ever pay a headhunter for doing headhunting for you. So the second example is about easy, quick, small jobs, side jobs that can get you a lot of money for only a few hours work. And honestly, maybe some of them actually even earn you some money. But in general, I'd be very cautious. So a reason when I've been approached was something linked to AI improvement of some tool. And by doing some simple task, I could earn 300 francs or dollars or whatever the currency was per hour. And, that sounds too good to be true. So my feeling is that it is probably too good to be true. And also simply, I'd rather spend my time in different ways than doing some work to improve some AI. So watch out when you do get these offers. Think twice if that's actually what you want to be doing. So if the offer sounds too good, my bet is that there's a catch somewhere. Here's the third example, and this is around speaking opportunities. So, these days, it looks pretty cool if you have a relevant speaking experience on your profile. If you've given a TED talk on a relevant topic, that could really boost your LinkedIn profile and your personal brand and your image. Or if you're speaking, let's say, at a side event, at a prestigious event like the World Economic Forum, Davos, or a big conference. So if one of those opportunities come along, for all means, take it, enjoy it, make the most out of it. The type of opportunity I've been approached to participate, which I explored a little bit, and it might be still a valid organization, which I personally doubt, but I just decided in the end that it's just not relevant for me. So here comes the offer. This is an organization who reached out to me to be a speaker. On conference, they're running partially online, I think also in person. So I didn't look too much into the in-person option in places like Dallas, Rome, Tokyo, many different places, and many conferences running in parallel. When I asked about what's the audience, that wasn't really so clear. And then I was asked to pay for a 30-minute speaking slot. So I jumped on a call to understand a bit better what they would expect from me, what topic they would want me to talk about, and how I could add value to that conference. I ended up with a 15-minute sales call with 2 people based in India, and let's put it that way, perhaps not being dressed in the most professional way that I would expect for a large business conference. And it just felt like the objective was primarily selling the speaking slot to me for a couple of 100 francs, speaking to an audience that wasn't too clear on a topic that I could pick myself. So in short, still this might be valid. There might be people going to those conferences. They might be benefiting from the speakers. I haven't really went to the bottom of this. But I just figured for myself that, first of all, I'm not sure if I would be talking to my audience, if that would be relevant for anybody that I would want to connect with and build a relationship with. And secondly, I've been organizing panel discussions and side events at the World Economic Forum in Davos for various years. We've been running different types of events with speakers. And every time I run a panel, I cherry pick my panelists, my speakers. I check their background. I choose them to bring a certain message that fits the bigger message I want to convey. So having an opportunity to just pick a slot and come with whatever I want to say is not the type of professional environment I want to be part of, whether it's a scam or a spam or a fantastic opportunity. It's just not the opportunity for me. So lastly, another example I've come across, and this one I find most intriguing, and I'm still not sure how much this is a scam, a spam, or a real opportunity. So I'm intrigued by the idea of passive income. So I'm probably a bit more open and approachable on this topic to see if there are any opportunities of basically an income stream that you could generate next to your day job, or if you run a portfolio career as one additional income stream, which could be writing a book, having a podcast that actually generates money, not a passion project than mine. So there are many different ideas of passive income. And here comes the one that I've been approached by. The pitch goes like this. So I've been approached by a nice looking woman, kind of looking like the woman next door, like me, like Caucasian, glasses, smiling on LinkedIn with a quite generic message. So I had to connect to explore the message further. And the pitch goes like this. So a tennis star created a expert knowledge business. I'm not quite sure why it's a tennis star. Maybe it is really a tennis star, but still it was a bit strange to me. And they were looking for partners. And the idea is they partner with experts that have knowledge. They help those experts to develop online courses in 48 hours, and they're the ones selling those online courses to people that are already ready to buy. And they can find those people based on search engine optimization. So now that sounds like a pretty clever idea. I'm not sure, I'm really not sure still if that's working, because I'm also thinking, even if you were ready to buy something, would you buy something where you target it with promotion and advertisement when you Google, let's say you Google, I'm looking for a coach. You have a advertisement buying up. You find a free, like a online course, maybe not free, but would you really buy that? So even that, I'm not too sure, but why not? I mean, that might actually be working. So I'm curious. I apply my principle of being open yet skeptical, and I schedule a call with that team to find out about this partnership. So first of all, that partnerships exploration call is a 15-minute slot again. So I'm thinking, what type of partnerships do you build in 15 minutes? But fair enough. Then something else happens in parallel. I'm approached by 3 other people with a similar concept. Nice looking women, big smiley faces with glasses on LinkedIn, all of them having like 2,000 plus connections, some of them having even 10,000 plus followers. And importantly, many of them are connected to some of my connections. So I feel like, okay, I can trust this. But then I spot that, first of all, the emails they approach me with, they're very generic, kind of, I liked your post without specifying which post. And we are interested in your knowledge, and we are interested in this partnership with you. We'd like to connect. All of them kind of the same message. Then I click on the profiles, and all of those profiles have in their profile description the same generic sales pitch, and actually very little else in their profiles. No clear company they're working for, not even the one that they're supposedly looking for partners for, not obviously linked to this tennis star that there supposedly was the founder of this scheme, of this business. And none of them, including that tennis star, which is also on LinkedIn with a big following, are verified LinkedIn profiles. You know, this type of verification where you have to actually upload your passport And LinkedIn verifies that you're a real person. And in case you ever wondered, that's why I'm now using my official name, Mechthild, together with Maggie on LinkedIn, because I uploaded my passport to prove that I'm a real person. You can see that on LinkedIn. There's a little tick next to the name where you can see that people were actually verified. So long story short, I disconnected with the people that have connected with me to exchange on this opportunity. I wrote back to one of them saying, I'm actually wondering if this tennis star who founded that company supposedly and those people that contacted me are real people, and if this is a real business, if they could help me trust and give me some more information, because I noticed that there's very little information on their profiles, that none of them are verified LinkedIn profiles. So kind of please convince me. Never heard back. No, so with all of this, this might actually still be a valid business, and I'm just old school and over suspicious, and I haven't explored it further to come to a real conclusion. And I don't know what's the catch in terms of investment needed. I don't know what's the promise in terms of money earned. So actually, this might be a valid model. And if any of you listen to that, tried it, did it, and like it, do let me know. I'd love to be proven wrong. And actually, it gets back to the question, what do you actually want to achieve on LinkedIn? And is that helping you to do so? And if it doesn't, then don't jump on this opportunity. But let's rather think about how you can make that relevant to you and how you can apply that for your own presence on LinkedIn to make the most out of it. I'm a huge LinkedIn fan. I'm very, very active on LinkedIn. You know, I want to make this work. I just don't want to fall for traps. So here are 4 things I recommend. It all starts with awareness. Just apply the same rules on LinkedIn that you would apply when getting an email to your work email, to your private email, when you're approached on WhatsApp with a weird message. Just be vigilant, be open yet skeptical. Secondly, and this might also sound very straightforward, you know, anything that sounds too good to be true, there is a chance that it is too good to be true. So particularly offers that promise quick money, amazing job at very little effort. Just be very cautious. Maybe check them out, but don't fall for them blindly. Then thirdly, you know, I would really invite you to review your connections regularly. And here's why. You know, I know we all want to have as many connections or followers as possible. We want to be able to reach out and connect people that are relevant. And all of that we should absolutely do. The issue is, so with the scheme I explained to you, the only way for them to explain me this amazing offer they wanted to offer me, we had to connect. And I actively disconnected with all of those profiles that I'm not sure if they're real people. Now, not everybody goes through that hassle. In fact, I actually even reached out to a few of my connections that are connected with them, asking them, are you sure these are real people? Do you know this opportunity they're offering? Have you explored it? Is it worth it? And most of them weren't sure because they haven't met these people in person. They haven't engaged with them. So here comes the problem that comes with that. If I'm approached by an opportunity, I check if I'm connected to that person. So if any fake profiles connect with you and I am connected with you and they try to offer me something, I might fall for that because I think I can trust them. But we'll get back to that in the wrapping up, but just I leave that as a thought just for now. And then the 4th tip is really check if the accounts are real. And here are a few ways you can check if an account is real. So first of all, as mentioned previously, if somebody put up their passport, LinkedIn marks it as a verified or certified account. Don't remember the exact terminology, but basically you can see on the profiles if there's a real person that has uploaded a passport and proven that. And these days with AI and all these fake things you can do, even that, I guess at some point people will find ways to fake that. So, always be vigilant. Then see if the accounts seem real and active. Is the person posting? Is the experience, does it sound real and relevant? And often real and relevant is actually a bit messy. Where did the person study? Where did the person work? Do you have connections in common? So there are several ways to check. So what I would invite you to do, be open. I mean, I connected with many people I don't know in person, and we had some really relevant exchanges. We jumped on phone calls or online meetings to explore further if we have common ground. So I do appreciate LinkedIn for that. But be cautious to spot accounts that are not real accounts. And a fifth consideration is if you're very active on LinkedIn and you put out a lot of content, one distinction you might want to do is followers versus connections. You might aim for as many followers as possible, but be more picky about your connections and make sure that those are of good quality, that you can trust them, that they're real profiles. And if you have thousands of connections already, this might be a painful process to go through and clean up. I don't have thousands, like multiple thousands. I had just over 2,000 connections, and I actually recently did the cleanup. It took me a while, but I personally feel it's worth it. So to wrap this up a little bit, maybe one more reason why I think this is really important to make sure that your network is of high quality with real connections. Because that also protects your networks from attacks. So I am aiming for having my network as high quality as possible. And when I say high quality, what I mean is that primarily I'm connecting with people I have actually met in person. I'm connecting with people I've met in trainings and workshops, maybe virtually, but where I know for sure that's a real person and we had some exchange. And I'm connecting with people that care about things I care about. But in those cases, I then either follow those people for a while, I'll exchange with them directly, I jump on a call with them. So I try really to the extent possible to make sure that in my network, I only have real profiles. And I also do that to protect my network from scams or spams or any dodgy offers to approach them. I don't want to be the person that people trust, and because I'm connected with somebody non-trustworthy, you might fall for an offer that it's not worth it. So that's it for today. I hope that gave you some food for thought. And as said at the beginning, I'm the biggest fan of LinkedIn. I think it's hugely valuable for networking, for job hunt. So use it, but use it well. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions on this, if you have a strong opinion on this, and particularly if you have more examples of schemes or opportunities you've been approached by, and also the ones that are real and that worked. I'd love to hear also positive cases so we can share those too. And also lastly, if you want to learn more about this, I mean, just Google it. I quickly Googled it. There are many articles or posts or information out there explaining other examples of things that are ongoing on LinkedIn and elsewhere. So if you want to inform yourself on the topic, Go out there and look for the information. I'm sure you can find plenty. With this, I'm wishing you a wonderful day. Bye for now, and we'll be in touch. Bye-bye. So that was it for today. Thanks for listening. And if you like this, subscribe and share it with anybody who might benefit from it too. And remember, leadership isn't a title, it's a mindset. And when you realign with what matters most to you and take one intentional step, you create ripples at work, at home, and in how you live. So pause, breathe, and begin. Because change always starts from within and with one little step. So what ripple are you creating today? Bye for now and see you next time.